Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Scouse's pre-match. Liverpool taking on Southampton at home in the FA Cup with this. Oh, not that, but this. Sir Z is with us. I know Gordo, and we might have an appearance from our regular Ryan as well. Sir Z, what do you make of this lineup? I think we kind of expected a lot of, kids. But speaking of kids, I was actually shocked to see Elliot out there after playing the entire game.
Yeah, I had a feeling Van Dijk might play, just being the captain. But yeah, Elliot, I'm really surprised. God, who are the subs? I haven't even seen the subs.
The subs, you do have some experience in the subs. You do have, you have Adrian, and you have Konate, Diaz, McAllister, Scanlon, Gordon, Nallo, Danz, and Neoni are on the bench. So you can bring in basically the people who played 120. We were wondering if, like, McAllister, since he didn't play the 120, maybe he would make an appearance, but clearly not. Gordon will probably see down the road. I don't know. I'm assuming Diaz and Konate, unless really needed, we would not see it. Well, Van Dijk is out there as the leader. And then really, he's the only senior guy. I mean, Gomez is the most senior in the squad, I guess, if you look at it that way. But looks like we did pack the experience in the back still. Do you think this is more like a let's stop it and see if the kids can get something going up front?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Simicast, he's a good attacking option down the left. I mean, the right side, it's strong. Gomez, Bradley, and Elliot. I think that's as strong as you can really hope for. I mean, just worried about Elliot playing, especially after 120 minutes the other day. Gakpo, it's a good, just that midfield worries me. Apart from Bradley, Clark and McConnell, maybe a bit lightweight, but we'll see. Kumas, I'm not too sure. I haven't seen enough of Kumas to make a valid opinion. But
yeah, I don't know. Any of that midfield, we haven't really seen, at least at this level, we have not seen. You've seen him as youth, right?
Yeah, I mean, McConnell and obviously Clark we've seen against Luton and we saw against Chelsea, and they held their own. But championship teams, they're a different kettle of fish. They're a lot more physical.
Yes.
They don't play out from the back like most of the Premier clubs do. But then saying that, they're also chasing promotion as well. So
do you think that's why, by the way, I mean, you look at that back line, I mean, we're assuming Gomez is on the right, you have Van Dijk, Kwanzaa, and then you have Costas on the left. So, like, do you think, based on knowing that that's probably how Southampton will play, and, if they do try to play from the back, if anything, if nothing else, you have a lot of energy up top to do the pressing. But at least this way, you're kind of like cutting off their like long balls and stuff with the experience in the back and not giving away something silly from like a long ball or like a bad bounce or something like that. And then you're hoping, you still have Gakpo up top, but, those kids can make stuff happen. And we've seen them that they play with a lot of confidence in terms of taking people on and like trying to create stuff.
Yeah. I mean, confidence is definitely not what they're lacking. Definitely not. Thank God. For kids, it's just unbelievable the confidence that they have, and obviously that stems through from Klopp to Van Dijk to the rest of the team playing well around them. I mean that defense, it's as good as we can get. I mean, you can play that defense in any Premier fixture, and we still come out on top. Kwanzaa's been amazing this season. Gomez has stepped up, Van Dijk has stepped up. Still put my hat on Kelleher, and and Simicast, he was playing really well before he got injured. So it's a strong lineup considering. I'm just surprised that Elliot. Hopefully nothing happens to him, but
I'll be honest, I'm more worried about Van Dijk being out there. I know it's different as a center back, and he can kind of control it's a bit easier to control your pace and your exertion in terms of energy and stuff like that as a center back as opposed to a guy in midfield, because the pace really dictates how much you're moving around and running around, and you can't really take time off or take a breather off and stuff like that. But yeah, I do worry for the long run. But along the same lines, like one of the things I was looking at is, we talked about in the morning show that, the sign of seeing Mo or Nunez or Soboslai at least on the bench,
Yeah.
at least give hope that they will be available for the weekend. You think they're not there possibly due to like the chance of overtime? Because then you don't want to put them in the 70th minute thinking you got 20 minutes out of them, and now it goes to overtime, that 20 ends up being 50.
Yeah, I think so. You don't want to risk either one of them. I mean, judging by Nunes' celebrations the other day, I'm surprised it's not the freaking South bench. But it's worrying. I mean, so I pretty much says to me, I don't think they'll start against Forest either, and maybe come on the subs against Forest. And that's a tough game. It's at Forest ground, right? It's an away
What was
game.
that?
It's an away game on Saturday, right? So that's a tough game.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I don't think Salah Nunes start on Saturday either. But just
I guess like my hope was, and I think if the game didn't have a chance to go to overtime, you could possibly have seen, those guys come in the last 15, 20, regardless of the score, even if we're winning, even if we're losing, just to kind of get back in the game pace. Because it's kind of not the ideal scenario, even if they are ready to have them start.
Yeah.
Like a Premier League game after being out for quite some time and go against Forest away in that lineup with, 0 miles up to that date and go full speed. I would just worry that, especially in case of Szoboszlai and Mo, who did come back and then get injured afterwards, you just don't want the same thing happening again.
Yeah, I don't know what Nunes' injury was. Like, I don't know what his injury is. Salah, when he came on against Brentford, I just thought that was it. Like, I didn't know he got injured. Like, he didn't look like he was injured when he came off.
I think in both cases, it's almost like, like you said, we saw Nunez jumping around and everything, but it's just not the same as being able to give that much time and like be able to play. Kazi, how about them kids, man? How do you like them kids?
Yeah, the kids, they all are. We haven't got a choice, have we? Let's be fair.
Not really, but given that we don't have a choice, are you shocked that you still are taking a risk by putting Elliott and Van Dijk out there?
We still want to win the game, don't we? I still want to win the game. I think, I would love to beat United at Old Trafford in an FA Cup as well. That sounds really nice.
Saying that, we could very well be playing Forest.
To be honest, Forest are probably favourites, aren't they, in fairness? Listen, there's a part of this as well when I think where the manager doesn't give a fuck about next season. He's not here. And he's just going to ride until the wheels fall off and let the next manager just deal with it. And to be fair, and that's fine as well, because that is prerogative, because he's the manager, he can do what he likes, kind of thing. The Elliott one surprises me a little bit, because I thought he ran his legs off at Wembley. But he's clearly saying he can do an hour. I think you see Elliott for McAllister on the hour. I think that's his sub. I think that's his first sub. And then we can kind of all go from there. Sorry.
With Van Dijk, he's not injury prone. It took a more comeback kick from freaking Pickford to take him out. And prior to that, he played like 2 seasons like non-stop.
Yes.
So he's not injury prone. Last season, he was in and out, but he was still recovering from a huge injury. So if he's back to the level that he's at now, playing him another game really, it's not that detrimental. Playing someone like Matic or Konate like back to back like that, or even Gomez, I'd worry. But Van Dijk, he literally needed a physical assault to take him out.
There's also a part of this when you look and actually go, the manager doesn't really get to pick the team. The manager goes to the medical department and say, who can I play? And they go, there's 18 lads. There's 25 lads, and that's what it's been for him a little bit, hasn't it? You know what I mean? You kind of got that vibe as well when he spoke about Prematch in the press conference. And he was just like, I looked at him and was like, why aren't you playing? He was
No,
like,
let me go ask these guys. I keep seeing him in practice. I didn't understand that. Like the way he almost like was thinking out loud. Yeah, let me find out if this guy can play or not.
yeah, what's going on when we can get you on the field kind of thing. So he goes to the medical apartment and they just advise. So Van Dijk's fully fit, isn't he? Clearly, because even if he was 94% fit, the medical department to go, hang tight. You know what I mean? A little bit, you know what I mean? Because there is weirdly backup options there. So I'm excited, mate. I'm excited to see what happens. You know, I'm surprised that Dan's isn't starting because I believe Kumas is a striker, isn't he? So
I'm assuming he's playing midfield though. I mean, on this, you know, I kind of when I look at the lineup, I took it as he would be playing mids and Elliot would be up top. But that's, you know, who knows? Basically,
exactly. Yeah, we have no idea. But there's a part of this as well. I think Southampton have made a couple of changes as well. I think Russell Martin said after the game, because they've lost their last two. I think he said after the game, I could really do without this game. I think he said that on the weekend. I could really do without this. Like, I don't want to go to Anfield from Southampton, by the way, which is miles away, up to Liverpool on a Wednesday afternoon after they just won a trophy at Anfield. I cannot be bothered with it when we just lost 2 on the bounce. You know what I mean? And it's really affecting our promotion chances now. So it's going to be interesting, mate. But I still fancy Liverpool still in a weird way. I still think we'll just get over the line, you know, again, because I feel like we're just riding the crest of a wave. I don't know how long this wave lasts, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy these games in some ways and I feel like it's set up well. Like your back line is fine. You have the energy in the middle of the field. It's just a matter of the physicality. Are they going to be able to cope with the physicality? You know, we talk about the League Cup. We have to bear in mind those kids were coming into a game against people who played 90 minutes, 85 minutes, 100 minutes. So this is slightly different where from the get-go, everybody's kind of starting with, 0 miles. And I know, Brian says this match has no pressure. So there is that. I think it's not like a cup final atmosphere. But sometimes, that kind of like helps too, because I think they were thrown out there. They did not look like they were playing in a cup final the way they played.
But I feel like there's more pressure on this game in a weird way because I felt like we as Liverpool fans, we were all like that at extra time. Whatever happens. The lads are proud of the lads. And they had that freedom to go out and go, whatever happens here, we've done our job. Like, we've made this competitive. I took to Chelsea to beat us and we got the miracle. I think this now is like, you could start Saturday or Sunday. Like, you can start V Forest. Like, you go in now and put a performance in. We need bodies. So lads might actually get a start in a Premier League football match. Do you know what I mean? And that is possible as well. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's a little bit more pressure on them in that way. I think we were all not resigned to getting beat, let's say, but I think we were all very proud of what they did. And
we would be content with the result.
Very content. If Chelsea would have beat us 1-0, we would have been all content and went, you know what, lads, you've done more than enough. But I feel like this game is like, I can actually get myself into a position here where I'm going to be starting games in the Premier League and Sparta Prague away in Europe.
Yeah.
Next week before.
And also kind of like the expectation is slightly higher too, right? Like, when they came in, you're like, anything we get is a plus. Whereas now it's almost like, they've been talked about for the last 3 days, not only by us, by everybody, by the entire media. They've been talking about, these kids and, what they can do. The future is so bright and stuff like that. So there is a little additional pressure as well. So let's bring this guy on. If you're a regular of the show, Ryan, he's always in the comments. Ryan, welcome to the pre-match, man. How do you like the lineup?
It's interesting. I was very shocked by Harvey, shocked by Verge, not quite as much. Who's the other center back with him?
Kwanzaa.
Okay, that checks. Really it was Harvey and then Verge, but really Harvey. He ran a lot on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, going back to talking about that. I mean, I feel like a center back, Serzi, I think, and going back to what you were saying, you are right. I mean, Van Dijk doesn't have, I don't want to jinx and pull a freaking John over here, but, rarely has muscle injuries and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm like I'm a warrior. So we could have said the same thing about Mo for the longest time too, but we were dealing with these issues as they age. I guess, I know what you're saying, but that's kind of like my concern is if something happens to Van Dijk at the peak of his form, it's almost back to his best. It would really, really hurt. Is it worth risking him out there when you're clearly just playing what you can and that's it?
I feel like there's a part of me where he hasn't got a choice. He's the captain. Genuinely, who would be the captain if he wasn't playing? Gomez.
Yeah. Gomez, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like at least he's seventh choice, probably. Like, you get into, you need your leader still, and you know what I mean? And maybe you can do an hour. Maybe the manager takes him off on an hour and goes with 2-0 up. And maybe that's his dream, do you know what I mean? But if he's fit, he's got to play. We haven't got two. There's not,
We've only got Nacho on the bench.
Exactly. Joe Gomez is kind of like a backup centre half right now and a right back. So you're like, well, because Conor Bradley's playing right wing for Liverpool, what the fuck is going on? So it's like,
yeah, that's another thing. Like, that's odd, right? I mean, you think he's going to be up top and then Elliott is going to be in the middle, or do we use Elliott like what we do with Mo and say, dude, stay up, don't track back as much?
I think so
because you're tired.
You know what? I was watching some video on YouTube, and this guy was breaking down the tactics of that game, and Bradley really wasn't a right wing. He was actually playing more of a striker position. And then Elliott was like playing more like going wide. And it was kind of interesting. So if they do that, I'm going to kind of keep an eye on that. If that's still kind of and like Gakpo was moving way left when this all happened. So it was like Diaz and Gakpo were kind of like two left wings, and then Bradley was in the center, and then Harvey was going more out wide. But
there's an argument here, I think, and if you hold the manager to go, just get through the next 3 league games to the international break, which is City, of course, Everton, I think, and then.
Well, I guess if we win this one, based on the scheduling,
we'll go United as well. Yeah,
the Everton game away.
Correct. Everton game goes away, and United will be the last game before the international break, or Forest. So there's an argument here if you're the manager to go, hey, Virg, it'd be nice if you're feeling a bit more cramp in that international break. You know what I mean? Like, there's only a few preseason friendlies, fella. You're starting anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? There could be like those arguments with a couple of players. Yeah. You feel a bit of muscle tightness, do you, Paul? Because
develop cold.
Exactly, yeah. We're playing Brighton in a couple of weeks, so there could be along those lines as well, Tim. But again, the manager's just doing miracles. I'm so impressed with him this season. It's unreal.
Yeah, and I think that kind of wave. I mean, Sergi, you think that? I mean, we kind of like touched on it this morning too. You think the high of the cup and the fact that like momentum. I know we talk it within the game, but there's also game-to-game momentum too. You think that momentum from the cup and the recent wins, regardless of who's playing, almost helps who's going out there today, as opposed to just randomly putting a bunch of backups out there?
No, I think that win on Sunday added the pressure to the quad now. I think if we didn't win on Sunday, I think the FA Cup will be all right. If we win it, we win it. If we don't, we don't. We're just going to concentrate on the league and the Europa. But because we won the League Cup and the quad is still on, it's added that little bit of extra pressure. And, and the kids want it. You can see that they're hungry. Like it's, you keep saying kids and, kids, the Chelsea team are younger, whatever, but they have less experience than the Chelsea team. And, and we saw them out. And Nkunku, he's out for another month. So Chelsea have to deal with that. But I mean, but these players, they want it. They want to win. And it's like Kazi was saying, you don't know when they're going to be at Wembley again. They may never get another chance like this again. And, being there, seeing Klopp's season out, playing with the likes of Virgil and, McAllister and everything, after this season, they may not get a chance again. Whoever comes in, all these youngsters might get loaned out. Apart from that. They're going to do. It feels like they're going to do everything they can to win as much as they can in this short period of time.
That's a great point, though. I'll get on to that question, sir. That's a great point because I think about this with these youngsters. They could make Liverpool 100 million this summer.
Yeah,
like we sold Liam Brewster for 25 million. He didn't really kick up football for the first team in a competitive football match. Do you know what I'm saying? So these kind of midfielders, people look at McConnell's performance in the extra time and go, "Fucking hell, he's a shud. He's good." You know what I mean? He's quite calm on the ball and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That Bobby Clark can do loads to me. Might make Liverpool 100 million before you even start. Do you know what I mean? So there's that part as well. And then also for these kids, it's like, fucking hell, I'm playing for Liverpool. You know what I mean? I wasn't expecting that this season.
I mean, these kids, let's face it, most of them would never get this opportunity unless we had all these injuries at the same time. Regardless of how good they are and how they shine in the youth team, they might never get this opportunity. So this is almost like, draw the luck for them. And let's face it, they're making the most of it. And that's why this game is probably more important to them. So we might get some performance out of them, because I'm sure they know too that they would normally not be there. So I do want to get to Philip's question though, real quick, before we get to the predictions. Who do you want to face, Forest or United? Ryan, we'll start with you. I would say Forest, just because like today is the Southampton game, and I'm kind of like, whatever happens, happens. But if it was United, I would not be whatever happens, happens. I would take it hard if we lose, regardless of who's out there and we have to rotate and stuff like that. That's the only reason I would say Forest, mainly because down the road, if the league we're still on top and everything like that, if we have to give away a game and gamble, I would rather gamble against Forest, and if we lose, we lose. But Ryan, which one would you prefer?
Yeah, Forest, pretty much for every reason you just said. I mean, I don't know. I mean, also they're not as good of a team, so I mean, it would just be a better chance of advancing, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair too. I mean, and here's another thing. Yeah, like United, this is the only thing they got, so you're gonna get their best shot either way. Not that I don't know how good their best shot is, but Sergi, who would you rather face?
Forest, 100%. It's the quad is on. Man United will pick themselves up and make that game as difficult as they can for us. And Forest are probably fighting relegation as well. So, it's a chicken's way out, but I don't care. whatever, I'll take the win. Well, whatever it is, I can't go out to Man United in the FA Cup.
I think we can beat both. I just would not be able to swallow a loss. Like I think today is a perfect example. I can take a loss against Southampton today. I just would take it a lot harder.
Going out to someone like Anana and Maguire, no.
Kazi, who are you picking?
Manchester United all day. This is the reason why we're in the game, boys. You're in the game for big games of football, to win games of football. This is why we're in it. And it's like, by the way, they're garbage. I watched the Fulham game. They're absolutely garbage. And
they are garbage, yes.
They concede like 15 to 20 chances a game. I don't care who we go out there and play against them. We'll batter them. They're crap. And also, in last season, so a big winner. Sorry?
The only team we haven't scored against this season.
I know, bro. I know what I'm saying. I think we owe them one as well. I think they're getting one in April anyway when we play them. But I mean, how good would it be to beat them? That's what I think. Just going there and beating them would be hilarious, wouldn't it? And then on our way to go and do something that they haven't done. Come on, it must hate them then.
I guess I'd taken the easier route, and because it's United.
It was like when City beat them. City beat them in the FA Cup final last year on the way to the treble, and they're like, by the way, we're going to match what you're going to do now, and beat them in the final at Wembley. That must hurt, really hurt. But at least we're going to go to Old Trafford, roll up, batter them. Oh, come on.
I guess. You sold me.
I just kind of feel like this year has been a year of us just kind of stumbling into good things.
Yeah.
I felt like when we in December when we were in first place, I felt like we just kind of stumbled into it. All of our draws for Carabao Cup was just laid out for us perfectly, and I think Forest would be that for this.
Yes, I was
stumble into the semifinals again.
Yes. Walking in the last second to give a prediction, because we only have 5 minutes left, so we'll go around real quick and give final predictions. Since you came in last, you'll be out first, Gordo.
Gordo wants United. Gordo wants United. That's all I know.
For sure.
Come on, Gordo.
It's a 1-0 Liverpool.
1-0 Liverpool is that. Sergi, what's your prediction?
I'll go 3-0 Liverpool.
Damn, man. See, this is why I love the pre-matches. This optimism, almost like osmosis, comes on to me. Kazi, you're the ultimate optimist. What you got?
Well, like Sergi, 3-0. Yeah, I think I'll be comfortable. I don't think we'll concede. I'll go 3-0. Yeah. Easy.
Ryan.
1-0, and we all get our wish, and Joe Gomez's first goal is a very meaningful one.
It's coming. It's coming.
I can't wait, man. Yeah, he almost had one last game, too. He's cracking up those shots. One of them was about to go in, but I'll go with a 2-1 like Allen over here. But it should
Have you ever predicted Liverpool to keep a clean sheet?
I never do, no. I never do. I think in this game, I mean, we do have the strong back line, but I just worry about how in sync we will be in midfield just because of so many moving pieces and stuff like that.
Re-
But it'll be. There's a lot of 2-1, so at least I know I'm not alone with my list. Go ahead, Ryan.
Real quick, have any of you watched Southampton all this year?
I watched a couple of games
Yeah.
before Christmas when they were really good, but
Okay.
now they have just lost the last two, and they've kind of faltered a bit in the Championship. So the manager has made some changes. Che Adams is on the bench. Kyle Walker-Peters is on the bench, like these players who start for them kind of thing. So
Mhm.
the manager's even like, I don't really fancy this game either, and has rested a couple of players. So, but yeah.
And I think maybe they're looking at it the same way we're looking at it. They're like,
A
let's see
wide
what
open,
happens.
you know.
They're playing with kids, how it goes.
Yeah.
And I think once we get to halftime or 60th minute,
it.
they'll make their calls. But
They're wide open, you know. They're wide open. They love to get on the ball. They love to
Yes.
keep the ball themselves, possession and stuff like that, which works in Liverpool's hands.
Sure. Okay, cool.
Well, I'll give a couple of minutes everybody to run to their TVs. We'll be here right after the final whistle for the post-match, hopefully talking about what we're going to do against Forest. That game is 0-0 right now, or United's, or coffee or tea. Okay, so enjoy the game, everybody, and we'll catch you guys right afterwards. Take care.
Cheers, guys.